Hello, good afternoon everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. I know it's the last one of the day, so yeah, do stick with us. And apologies again for Eloise not being here. Hopefully myself and Sam will be reliable stand-ins. So yeah, like Mark just introduced, we work for Single Homeless Project, which is a London-based homeless charity. We work in particular in the sport team. But just to sort of give a bit of background, we've got a short video just to set the scene, and then I'll go into the charity a little bit more detail, and then more specifically what we do just a little bit after that. So we'll jump into the video.
In a hostel with 20, 30 individuals, there'd be quite a lot of socialising going on.
That lots of them spend days and days on their own in their room and they aren't active at all. And I think that just made it really clear to us that this was the project we needed to introduce.
We offer a variety of different sports, from yoga to fishing, boxing. They're often very fun sessions.
You just feel better about yourself, you know, getting involved.
They explain it properly, they're fair with it.
When you're doing the activities, even afterwards, you leave with a buzz, and then for the rest of it, I know I'm going to be fine.
I'm just so grateful, you know, to know that I've got people to help me to keep my sanity together.
I can never thank them enough. It's from the bottom of my heart, yeah. So I'm very grateful.
Perfect. So you can probably see me and Sam in that video, we're a lot more comfortable in t-shirt and shorts than we are dressed like this. But we'll try our best again today. So yeah, a bit more background about Single Homeless Project as a charity. It was started in the 1970s to support single Londoners who are struggling with their accommodation and just give them a little bit more within their lives. So we now work in every London borough. We have hostels in every London borough where we try and offer that care and promote well-being, enhancing opportunity. And we really try and be that voice for change across London with the people that we work with. As it says there, we work with 10,000 people a year. That number varies, as you can imagine. And we work with sort of five groups really. So multiple disadvantage, it encompasses anything from drug addiction to mental health issues to anything that anybody might be struggling with. We have services that specialise in refugee services, women's only services, work with our young people, and then prison leavers. That's in addition to our floating support services that are people at risk of homelessness or that can provide that pathway out of homelessness, where we support people with activities, games, sports, education and training, whatever that might be. So that's a little bit of a very short snippet about the charity as a whole. A little bit more about what myself and Sam do. So around 6 or 7 years ago, some of the people within our charity thought we need to be offering the people that we support more. There's so much we can offer that isn't being offered. So the idea of an opportunities programme was born. So opportunities programme, we are one strand of that as sport. We also have an art programme, gardening, music, try and remember all of them, psychotherapies, health, and is there any I've missed? That's all of them, tick. So yeah, so that is sort of was the education, training and employment as well. So we try and offer that wrap-around opportunity to provide people with what they need to sort of improve their quality of life, whatever that might be. And so just to sort of get right onto our project, so in 2018 we were awarded funding from Sport England to start to build a project to engage over 55s to improve their physical activity and then see where that would go effectively and what change we could make. So what did that look like? Let's start with a team of 3. Sam's been there since the start. I came in a little bit later on. And we run around 35 weekly sessions. So a weekly session for us is literally anything you can imagine. We've done fishing on Clapham Common. We cycle around Battersea Park every Friday afternoon. It can be on walks. It can be more sort of organised sport and activity. Whatever we can do to support the people that we work with, we try and facilitate that. And like has been touched upon a lot today, we rely a lot on volunteers. So that volunteer framework is so important for us. So if any of you want to volunteer in any sports and activities, come speak to us after, because we always want more. We've built in-house gyms in our services. So that's Jordan, someone else we work with. It's a gym that we set up in one of our hostels in Westminster. And that is a boxing session that runs regularly, just because that's what the clients wanted in particular there. We run taster sessions and trips. We took some clients to the Commonwealth Games last year. We go ice skating regularly. So yeah, it's a case of speaking to the people that we work with, finding what they want, and trying to improve their quality of life that little bit more. And a big part of that Sport England funding was about partnerships and how can we connect with other people doing similar things, which I think is a common theme that I've heard throughout the day, of just speaking to people, finding what other people are doing. Can we connect? Because I still don't think we're that great at doing it. I think we could all still do much better at it. So it's something that we're still striving to do, and Sam will come to touch on where we are right now, and it is a lot more partnership based. So yeah, we help also with travel equipment, clothing, anything to facilitate what a session needs, what a client needs. It's all very client focused, and we try and support clients in the best way we can. On there as well is our sports day. I don't know if we have any photos in this pack about our sports day, but for four years now, we run a big yearly sports day at Battersea Park Athletics Track, and Sam will probably say the same. It's our best day of the year. We have about 300 or 400 people there. It's the biggest celebration. If anyone's interested, there's loads of videos and stuff on our website after. Go and have a look. If you want to feel good about something, we love what we do. It's a great day. So yeah, it just brings communities together. We have loads of volunteers there, loads of our staff. And this year, again, Sam will touch on a bit more that it's going to be open to a lot more of the community. So if you're thinking there, this could be something that we could get involved with in some way, yeah, please do feel free to get in touch with us, because we're always open to ideas and partnerships and bringing new people in. So why we did it? The research came back. We spent quite a while evaluating before we started the project to see what do we really need to do. We found that across our clients, for 18 hours a day, they were just in their rooms doing nothing. And for us to sort of hear that, it's probably quite a mad thing to process. Imagine just being in your bedroom for 18 hours a day, not doing anything. Yeah, it's a bit of a mad one to get your head around. And then poor engagement with healthcare. A lot of the time that's not because they didn't want to get involved with healthcare, is that they didn't see it was something for them. And multiple barriers. So there was just so many barriers to accessibility, travel, finance, and it was just something where we thought there's just a huge gap here that we can influence and do something a little bit better about. And then bringing on to what William was talking about with the cost saving, and it's been spoken a few times today. We realise it's something that can save the charity a lot of money and the NHS a lot of money. With exercise referral schemes, with the money saved for all the hours that go into physical activity, and then no other project like it. So Sport England spoke to us and said we don't have anything like this, and we're interested to see where this goes and what the outcomes are. And now we're hoping to keep building and to go on from there. So yeah, just a little journey as to where we are, how we got here, and then Sam will lead on from where we are then. So we started, like I said, as a Sport England funded programme in 2018 for inactive over 55s. It then became, a few years later, because of the success of it, we found in that first period, worked really well for over 55s getting active, but we had a very small amount of women participating. So the last 2 years, we had a huge focus on increasing the amount of women in our sessions, which has been super successful, and then we'll go on to forming a large part of our new funding too. We're then going on to the wider community. So like I'm saying, a big part of the new funding will go on to the wider community. And then we've also received funding from the NFL to start working with young people. So we're having lots of pots of money with lots of different targets. You can probably appreciate, those of you that are grant funded, how much you are dictated by your funders. But yeah, it's something that we're really working to and sort of building out those opportunities for our client group that we work with. So yeah, just a few stats up on there. So over the last 5 years, I think that number's close to 1,000 people now that have engaged in our sport project, which is something that we're really proud of. We really do love what we do and the people that we help. And we normally, when we deliver presentations, spend too much time on case studies. Sam's got a really, really brilliant one that he's going to come on to. But when we see like 800 people, 1,000 people, that's 1,000 people with an individual story, and all of them are just amazing to hear. The people that we have in our sessions each week, they're really inspiring, so many of them. So it really is great for us to see that we're helping their physical health, their mental health, and the social opportunity is the biggest one that we get from our sessions. We provide that safe space for people to come in and enjoy and relax and have a laugh, and also to improve their physical health and improve some of these other stats that you can see on the screen. So Sam is going to come in now to talk a little bit about one of our case studies, and then take us from where we are right now to where we are over the next 4 years going forwards.
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm Sam, I'm the sport manager at SHP, and actually it's probably worth mentioning a quick fact about me. I've actually had hiccups for every day for the last 2.5 years, so it's been particularly bad this morning, so if I do hiccup during this, just ignore it. I have had it checked out, don't worry. Yeah, so as Josh was saying, the stats on the previous slide only go so far to explain the sort of impact that our project has had on people, and I think perhaps a more poignant way of showing that is through these individual stories and through like tangible ways that people's lives have been changed by it. So I'm just going to introduce you to Courtney. So Courtney was a client who was street homeless in Victoria for over 10 years, in and out of prison, and with various experiences with substance misuse, drugs and alcohol. And when he came into our hostels, he didn't really engage with much. He was very reserved until he came along to one of our sports days, where he basically just got stuck into everything. So he was doing the egg and spoon race, he was doing high jump, and the sprints and everything. And he actually won the Athlete of the Day award, which is pictured there. And this, it marked sort of such a pivotal moment in his life, and we noticed such a change when we went back into the sessions. He started coming along to all our sessions, our boxing, our table tennis and like pool sessions, and we could see such a difference in every aspect of his life. So he was far more upbeat. He was so excited, and he always basically was just there ready when we turned up to the session for the. We didn't have to knock on his door, get him involved, and he then started engaging in so many more aspects of his life, his healthcare. He went along to got his dental care sorted out. He cut his hair. He engaged in other education and training opportunities. For example, he did a carpentry course, completed that. He did cooking lessons, and he then also actually had he got back in touch with his daughters. He had 2 daughters who hadn't spoken to in years. He got back in touch with them and has a relationship with them again, which is amazing. And he's now moved up to Manchester. He's just finished rehab. He's been clean for a while now, and he is now volunteering up in Manchester. But amazingly, I think it basically just shows the impact of physical activity can have on people's lives. And he actually said after the sports day, he was like, "That day changed my life. Nothing else that day." And it just shows that physical activity can be that catalyst in people's lives to start engaging in other aspects, and to really make a difference. Because so this was a before and after photo. This is actually only a few days apart. So he went away and was like, not that appearance is important, but for him it was. He wanted to get new clothes, have his hair cut, his beard shaved, and get his dentistry sorted out and things. So it's just a way of showing the impact that it had for some of our clients. Okay, so what's next? So we're moving from our 5-year project into a 4-year project funded by Reaching Communities, and we've encountered a number of sort of questions along the way throughout our work. Some of them being, so can things become sustainable, and is there life after grants? And yeah, I'm sure it's questions that we've all been sort of grappling with over the years as well. And from our previous project, the answer was actually was no. So basically, we realised that without the funding and without this new project that we've been granted, then the physical activity across our services and across the hostels would cease to exist for a number of reasons. So we do have, as Josh mentioned, a big volunteer base. So a lot of our sessions are run by volunteers, and when it comes to the topic of sustainability, volunteers obviously have big involvement in those conversations. But so working with our particular client group, the volunteers would need sort of management, so hence requiring a grant and a project and personnel as well. Basically because of the risk assessments and the DBS and also supervisions and things. But also our hostels don't have much money as well, so equipment and sort of maintaining and refreshing equipment to keep the sessions going is something that isn't really an option either. And then other aspects where we've seen that perhaps sustainability could be more of an option has we've seen in our young people services. So we have a number of young people who have recently got involved in our sessions. So we've had funding from NFL as well to run some projects in our services for our young people. And there's been a massive appetite for football, for NFL amongst them, and we've seen that people are so willing and have the motivation to go to external venues, to group together and just really see it as part of their week and part of their routine. However, if the project was gone, then they're turning up at these venues. They're obviously very expensive in London, and then there's other things, for example, other opportunities like parks and things when it comes to the winter after college hours. It's dark, and also there's obviously a lot of restrictions on ball games and things there. So sustainability and the grant sort of system really got us thinking. And so hard to engage is sort of a funny phrase I'm sure many people have heard, and the clients that we work with have always been sort of lumped into this category alongside some of these other groups as well. And it's something that we don't actually sort of agree with the statement. We think that it's not that people don't want to get involved in physical activity, it's that they just don't have the opportunities to do so, unless it comes down to these grants and these projects. So for all the inclusivity the grants provide, and we're so grateful for the grants, obviously, because that's how we exist as a project, they do come to an end, and sometimes the projects completely end as well. And we've noticed that many of the partners that we've built relationships with and partnerships with over the years, we've got back in touch with them or liaised with them in certain ways, and their projects have ended. And and it's obviously sad to see, because we've seen so many amazing projects do so many amazing things. So I think I imagine many of us are here today because we all know there's an inactivity crisis, and physical activity levels are at an all-time low. But when you look across the board at how many opportunities that are only available because of these grants, it really begs the question of what's going wrong systemically, and how have we become so reliant on short-term funding in order to make physical activity accessible for all. And the truth is we don't have an answer to that, but we're on a journey with our new 4-year project to sort of hopefully open our eyes to that a bit as well. So just a little bit on our new project. So previously all the stuff we've been running has been internally within SHP, within our hostels across London, and a big part of the new project is to be looking more outwardly. So we're going to be, partnerships are a huge part of the new project, So that might look like partnering with like-minded organisations within the homeless sector, even going into the hostels, running sessions for them. But also, we know that we found something that really does work for and should be part of systemic. Should be part of that, the core provision for homelessness. So it's something that we obviously want to share. We have a number of resources and toolkits and webinars and things that we've done in the previous project that we want to produce more of and share what we've done with other organisations. Another big part of the new project is attempting to look at that more sort of sustainable approach with providing instructors that with lived experience or providing training opportunities for people within other organisations or service users within other organisations to basically go in and provide training opportunities and identifying people that we perhaps feel might be good for like community champions or projects of advocates so training opportunities and then also in the long run looking to perhaps get people employed within so another really quick case study we've got a guy called Andley who has been involved in our project. He came into SHP, was involved in our boxing sessions, got really into it. It's something that he used to get involved in when he was younger and absolutely really enjoyed. So we got him so we trained him up and got him a qualification in being a boxing instructor, and he started to sort of volunteer and run some of the sessions supervised, and now he actually has his own freelance business going around to other hostels running boxing, and we employ him and he's great. So it's that sort of approach that I think we're going to take into our new project a bit more and try and provide more stories like that really. And I think we've noticed across a lot of conferences that we've been to recently, there's similar conversations and similar themes that are going around, and people are chatting about this idea of sustainability. Is it possible? Is there life beyond grants? And people are walking away feeling empowered, listening to people's new projects and really encouraged, but still perhaps thinking what next, and how can we put that into action? And obviously that's something that we don't necessarily have the answer to, but we're really excited to hear what other people think, and also it's been encouraging to hear a lot of the projects and talks earlier today talking about sustainability and what needs to change, and so it feels that we're all very united in that, and we're obviously very excited to see what our new project brings and how we can start to look at some of those questions really and just try and find some answers and share them further. I'd say that's pretty much it for me. Pretty pleased I didn't hiccup in that as well. I'll hand back over now. Thanks.
Thanks, sir.